Live from Richmond, Virginia, you're watching men's college basketball on Masson and ESPN+. The Rams looking to make it a 4-0 start to the 2024-25 campaign. They'll welcome Loyola University and the Greyhounds, looking to make it 3 consecutive wins in their own right. Welcome courtside, Siegel Center, TJ Winger alongside former player and coach Chris Nockey. And Chris, a lot of players, a lot of talent on the hardwood today. But let's start with the visiting Greyhounds, and let's talk about their player to watch, Jordan Stemke, most consistent player thus far on offense for the Greyhounds.
They gave him a chance last year, and he thrived. Kind of came out of nowhere last year, and he's continued to evolve and grow this year. He's going to have to play really well in this game for the Greyhounds to have a chance. He's
the only player for Loyola University to score in double figures in all 3 of their games thus far this year. Guard play, a pivotal part of this VCU team. Litany of guys you can pick between, but Joe Bamsile has been awesome thus far.
Yeah, the well-traveled Joe Bamsile, inside, outside, driving to the hoop. He's got the pull-up game. He's deadly from the three-point line, and he's really playing good pressure defense like the rest of the guards on this VCU team.
Now let's talk Keys to the Game, brought to you in part by CarMax. CarMax, the home of the 30-day money-back guarantee. Loyola looking to make it back-to-back road wins today, Chris. What do they need to do to leave Richmond with a W?
Yeah, anytime you're going against a tough opponent on the road, you have to be able to acquit yourself well on the boards. You have to be able to handle it in all phases. Poise against pressure in here, critical. No live ball turnovers.
And what about for VCU, looking to make it a 4-0 start?
They want to go the other way. They want to play full court. They want it up and down. They want racehorse basketball. This is really critical. They have to take steps to improve inside because the competition gets much better over the next couple of weeks in the interior.
Tip-off just moments away here on ESPN Plus in Masson. We'll take a pause and come back with starting fives and that opening tip between VCU and Loyola University. Greyhounds, TJ Winger alongside Chris Nockey. Let's take this opportunity to highlight the starting fives for both sides. First, we're the visiting Greyhounds, which is presented to you by the Red Door Guys. They can help you get rid of that unwanted property just as fast as the Rams want to get rid of the Greyhounds tonight. Give the Red Door Guys a call at 804-373-7267, or they could say 804-373-RAMS. You see our player to watch, not in the starting 5. No Jordan Stemke, but you will see plenty of him coming off the bench today for the Greyhounds.
You'll see a lot of Braden Speed, their young point guard, and a lot is expected of him. He's not shot the ball well this year, but he's a pretty good young player. And they got some guys. They're trying to figure out the right combinations, as is everybody else in November.
And the VCU starting lineup brought to you part by the VCU Black and Gold MasterCard from Virginia Credit Union. I mean, guards galore, and then Christian Furman holding it down low, but I mean, any of those guards could be potentially in for a big night.
Yeah, Russell has been a revelation.
Sure.
Shulga and Bamsile, those are known quantities. Those are all 10-level players, all conference players. But what Russell has done and the energy he's brought, the enthusiasm, and the defense, he is 94 feet of trouble for opposing teams.
Well, especially when you factor in the current absence of Zeb Jackson. It goes from, hey, Phil Russell's a great player, happy to be a part of the program, and now it becomes, well, good thing we got him because Zeb's going to miss some time to open the year.
Yeah, and we're not sure exactly when Zeb is due back. Boy, where would they be without Philip Russell? And hopefully Zeb comes back because, depth is always something you need. My guess is somebody else is going to get hurt along the way, unfortunately, or sick or whatever. So you got to have guys ready to step up and play.
Once you get into training camp, it's hard to imagine any team is actually at 100%. Also want to note tonight's referees, Bill Covington, Thomas Morrissey, and Ryan Sassano. Milos Ilic juxtaposed Christian Furman. Tip up. Open possession belongs to Loyola University.
I just feel like these first 4 minutes are really critical for Loyola. I think VCU wants to come out punching here.
It's a VCU team that has not trailed at half yet this season. Knock on wood if you're a VCU fan and believe in the broadcaster jinx. Ilic down low and has the opening 2 points to the evening.
He's allowed to set up shop. Furman let him set up shop deep in the paint. That's trouble. Division I level, you're going to get buried down there.
Ilic, 6'10", 235. Easier on the other side. Jack Clark opens today's VCU scoring, the transfer from Clemson. His first 2 on the night.
A simple little flex cut right there. Nobody was within 5 feet of Clark when he caught that ball.
Here's Speed. He scored in double figures 2 of the 3 games thus far this year for Loyola. Step back trifecta. Tickles the bottom of the net. Tyson Commander. Just his second 3-point shot to fall this year.
There was some arc on that shot. Came down wet.
Here's Bamsile, our VCU player to watch. Leading scorer north of 18 points per game. Max Shulga. Maybe a steady of any offensive player this year for the Rams. Working low post, fading away, and collects his first bucket.
Well, he's taking the young guy's lunch money right there. Speed just not nearly strong enough to deal with Shulga.
Illich lines up the 3. Halfway down, out. Rebound gathered by the aforementioned Shulga. First look at Russell. Now down low, Furman. Left it short.
Yeah, it was flat. Never had a chance.
Speed, nice bounce pass far side. Commander will try once more. The high arcer touches nothing but nylon once again.
Better close out on that guy. Clearly feeling it right now.
Commander enters 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. And now 2 for 2 to start his afternoon.
Coach Leffler must have known something here. He put him in the lineup here. Stepke not starting.
Early 4-point lead for Loyola. This is a VCU team that's only trailed for 2.5 minutes entering today. Clark no good. Another board for Illich. Theodosio working to the cup.
Oh, what a nice dish.
Illich, a miss. Had it for a moment. Lost. Shulga. Loft ahead. Bamsile lines it up. Misses long. And
Nobody
Speed,
back.
all by his lonesome. Do I do it? Dare I say? A lot of Speed. Yeah, everyone saw that one coming. But it's okay. Now we got it out of the way.
You know, when a shot goes up like that from Bamsile, it's incumbent upon the point guard, that's usually Russell, to get back for defensive balance. And he was nowhere to be found.
After the pick and roll, turnover VCU. Theodosio denied from behind. Another opportunity, another block. This one for Furman. No numbers advantage, Shulga. You talked about his experience, and that's really a trend you can say about this entire VCU team. How about 5 different players with 4 or more years of college basketball experience? Corner 3, Russell. No good. Clark tips it out.
Wow.
I'm going to say last touch by Loyola.
It should have been a fresh. I would have thought it was a reset to 20. Rams get the full 30.
And now, first-year head coach, Josh Leffler, excuse me. We'll point that out. We'll also have our first set of subs. Brandon Jennings, promising freshman on the floor for VCU. Subs for Loyola include our player to watch, Jordan Stemke. Comes in, leading the way with 12.3 points per game.
Now, this game couldn't have started any better for Loyola. And Josh Leffler, for sure. Drained some shots. Played good defense, too.
Slow start out of the gate for VCU, just 2 of 6 from the floor. Shulga lost it for a moment, able to recal. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Furman gets it a full this time.
Joey gets the arc on that shot that he didn't have on his first half hook. It's a good-looking move.
Theodosio will pull it back out. Jennings to defend, north of 2 steals per contest. Nice find. Theodosio finds the cutter. First 2 of the day for Cop Cody.
He's had a couple of those, Theodosio. Good dish out, kick out here.
Ball working its way around the arc. Corner tray, far side. Russell now 0 for 2 from beyond the arc. Clark, offensive rebound and fouled on his way up.
There's some gold on the backboards for VCU. They got to attack there. And if Loyola gets a breakout or 2, so be it.
We'll take a pause. The under 16 timeout. Loyola up by 6 on Masson and ESPN+. Welcome back to Richmond, Virginia. There's a shot of the VCU huddle led by second-year head coach Ryan Odom, looking to score his 198th career win today. A little bit of a steep hill to climb, at least early going. Still a lot of basketball left to be played. But how about this? VCU came in today only trailing for 2.5 minutes on the entire season. That's less than 2% of the total minutes played this year. Now they have not had a lead today. They've been trailing for almost 4 minutes of this contest, so a very different spot to find yourself if you're Coach Odom and the Rams.
He cannot be happy with the defense thus far in this game. And amazing stat. Jumps off the stat sheet right now. Just in 4 minutes of play, Loyola has 5 assists. That's a lot of assists. That's sharing it, and that's also, TJ, that's guys getting into the paint. And they have broken down VCU's guards and gotten to wherever they wanted to get, and it has caused problems in terms of the rotations for the Rams.
Jack Clark will step to the line. So far in the season, 57.1% free throw shooter. Hopefully an area, if you're a Rams fan, for Clark to improve first up and through. But to that point, assist has actually been a stat that VCU more often than not finds themselves dominating. Even just the Merrimack game, how about a 16-3 assist edge?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's quite a differential. But you can't be if on this kind of pace. The number of assists that Loyola would have in a 40-minute game is absurd. You know, it's astronomical. You're not going to win that game if they get to that point.
Clark goes 2 for 2. Free throw line, of course, a big component of the VCU offense a season ago. One of the top 25 teams in the country in free throw percentage. Tipped out's going to stay with the Greyhounds.
Part of that, the free throw thing is getting the right guys to the line at the right time. And Clark is, you mentioned 57%. He's going to shoot 75 by the end of the season. He's got a beautiful stroke. Confident kid. He's played a lot of basketball.
He was a player that shot around 40% from beyond the arc last year.
Yeah, he's got a pretty shot.
New age stretch bigs. Cody looking for help, has him in the form of Commander. Drives, lefty, denied. Another block for Furman. Rams in transition. Jennings, Michael Bell, Shulga. Off back iron. Loose for a minute. Ultimately gathered by Chris Zemka.
More penetration. The Rams got lucky. See this turnover right here? This is a dead ball turnover by Loyola. The ball goes out of bounds, gives them a chance to reset their defense. It's a lot different from a live ball turnover that the Rams traditionally turn into easy money on the other end. I think if you're a coach, you talk to your team, hey, we're going to turn it over a little bit. If you're going to turn it over, throw it into the band. It allows us to get back, set up some D.
Well, defense, specifically guarding the three-point line, going to be an interesting category or stat to keep your eye on throughout today's contest. Shulga throws it into the stands, just narrowly missing the band.
Yeah, well, that's kind of lackadaisical play. I think he expected Bell to kind of size up on the wing there.
To finish my point, small sample size, albeit, but these are two of the top 8 teams in the entire country. And so far, defending the three-point line, Rams have held opponents to 16.3%. Loyola holding opponents to just 20% three-point shooting.
So early, as you said, small sample size. I think that speaks to the level of the competition. Whoa! Shot goes over the backboard.
Don't see that one every day.
No, you do not. But it speaks to the level of competition I think that both these teams have played. They're about to see, this is their Loyola's first real bye game. They play against Boston College again after this. So the competition gets hyped up here for them. And, of course, the Rams headed to Charleston where they're going to have 3 tough games. We'll see if those numbers stay where they are right now.
Bamsile knocks it through. Deficit down to 1 for the Rams.
I saw Josh Leffler walk through that play 3 times today with his kids and shoot around. And he is frustrated.
Stemke tries to respond. Misses it all.
That's not a good shot. Contested by 2 players.
And all of a sudden, you start to hear the life inside Siegel Center.
And I think Bamsile coming in, they got the early sub, and that's Ryan Odom say, hey, listen, watch the game a little bit, see if you can do better here.
Russell to Jennings. Off back iron. Long rebound. Corralled.
Good hustle.
Zemka with a nice play. Illich looking back door. They'll say it stays in. Now whistle on the play, and it's going to be a turnover against the Greyhounds.
Yeah, that's a pretty good look by Illich right there.
Here it is once again on the replay. 6'10", big, showcasing some vision, but just a step out in front.
And they run a lot of Princeton concept offense. A lot of spread the floor, and Illich is a guy, the Princeton offense has that look where the big man, the 5-man, is at the top of the key or just beyond it, just above it. And kind of a primary passer in that offense.
Bamsile looking for his second trifecta. No good. Long rebound. Gathered by Stemke. Pass deflected. Great play there by Michael Bell. Generates the extra possession for the Rams. Bamsile looking for space. Ultimately finds Bell. Tricky spot to find yourself. Bell magically navigating through traffic and throwing it down. Luke Bamboye.
A lot of contact on that play. I mean, these guys must have reservations for dinner at 9:15. They let that go. A lot of contact.
First VCU lead on the night. More trouble for the Greyhounds. Illich. That'll silence the crowd momentarily.
Good poise by Speed through that double team.
For a freshman especially.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking wiser beyond his years. Second lead change. Shulga drives. Near side corner. The sophomore lines it up. Three-point shooting coming in today's been strong for VCU, but a slow start out of the gates. Just 1 for 8.
And they've had some open looks. Shulga had a wide open one. Bell right there, wide open.
Spin from Speed. Illich shot fake. Missed long.
Pace of the game favors VCU here. I don't think Loyola wants to get into this kind of matchup.
Jennings into the painted area, able to find Bell. Hop step. No good. Be a foul on the play.
I think that'll be Luke on that foul.
That's going to send us to the under 12 media timeout. Back and forth affair now, but it's a 1-point lead for Loyola over VCU on ESPN Plus in Masson. Welcome back to Richmond, Virginia. See the Greyhounds huddle led by first-year head coach Josh Leffler. His 8th overall season as a head coach, though, with a couple of seasons spent at Stevens and then 5 spent at Johns Hopkins, amassing, how about this, 162 wins to 41 losses, including the 2-1 record this year. A guy who's been at multiple levels, multiple posts. He's most recently an assistant coach at Cincinnati. Guy with a wealth of experience, and you're seeing it so far in the early goings for Loyola.
Yeah, he was so successful with Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. I mean, he's no secret in that city, and there's no surprise as to why Loyola hired him. He's right down the street. You see how successful he was. He's got a heck of a resume. Rams 1 of 8 from the three-point line to start this game.
Contrasted by 2 of 4 the other side for Loyola. Here's Commander. Thought about it for a moment. He's already got to. Speed will have to hoist it up. And VCU's going to take over.
Shot clock was ticking down. He had to pull the trigger on that. Not much going on that offensive possession for the Greyhounds.
Speed's done a lot right this year, but now just 1 of 6 from beyond the arc. But 11 of 12 from the free throw line, north of 50% from the floor as a shooter overall. Bits and pieces. Once that three-point shot starts to fall, look out.
Yeah, he'll fill out a little bit, get stronger.
Russell, no good. Now 0 for 3 from beyond the arc. Game of the day, top 3 in the A-10. Again, only through 3 games, but was shooting north of 52% beyond the three-point line. Mop lost it. These are the costly turnovers. Bamsile! VCU back in front.
Well, Joe should be rewarded for that. He poked the ball out on the defensive end. Really nice play.
5 turnovers now for the Greyhounds. Shulga looking for number 6.
Yeah, his left hand wrapped around Speed's hip. That's an easy call.
Shulga really is something to watch. He's a guard, he's a good shooter, but he's just so savvy. Good defender. There's not much on the floor you can't ask him to do.
Well, he plays at his own speed, too, his own pace. There aren't many guys that sort of have that automatic throttle.
Their own demeanor.
Yeah.
You're in the midway point of the first half. Theodosio No good on the runner. Rebound, Clark. Shulga, in and out of his hands. Clark to Bamsile. 1-2 combo. Easiest 2 of the day for Bamsile.
Give and go. Best play in basketball. Boy, Joe Bamsile moving without the basketball. Constant motion.
He's got a game-high 7. And you think about him as a shooter, but then he's doing things like this. He's going to ultimately call for the foul.
No, that's Theodosio that they called that foul on. That's a clean pick by Joe. And that's a good foul, actually, by Loyola, because Joe is off to the races.
We'll get a replay of what we saw a couple minutes ago. Third foul to go against Loyola. VCU with just 2 to this point.
Not sure if they're taking a look at the replay to see if this was, you know what, Theodosio held him. They might be called this an intentional foul. After the Bamsile steal, you see he's going off to the races. Look at Theodosio grab that left arm of Joe's. And that might have come from the VCU bench. Hey, we need you to take a look at it. I'd be surprised if they don't rule that an intentional foul. And it's tough because, like you noted, great point. You're not trying to give up an easy 2 the other way. Let's at least reset.
Right. Then you get to that territory and
but there's nothing subtle about
grabbing a guy's arm.
I mean, you get 2 points in wrestling, right? Is that takedown or?
Hey, that might be more than we saw from Tyson and Paul last night, to be honest.
Well, you're the guy that went down that rabbit hole. I did not have a chance.
I am the guy who stayed up till midnight. Why in the world did anybody let me do that?
Now we got a conference officials at midcourt. And I think I just read lips. One of those guys says, I think we're going to have to push back our reservation at 9:30. Let's see what they call here.
I can only hope that's part of this explanation.
But usually when they go...
Y'all been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty 1, okay?
It's going to be a flagrant 1.
Yep. And that's an easy call. And, you know, the telltale sign is when you see the lead official go over to the opposing coach. The coach who doesn't get the benefit of this call,
it's a tough conversation to have.
Yeah. And that's usually when the official goes over there. He says, you know, the other guys wanted this to be a flagrant 1. I was the outlier. They want to keep us informed here. Non-basketball play, yeah. I was going to put him on headset. Joe, automatic at the line. This is a good free throw shooter. And, you know, natural scores, they really embrace the free throw line because it's such a great way to pad stats. They say that and he misses. Of course, on cue.
How about this? 54.5% free throw shooter coming in today. And obviously, percentage last year. And I would agree, kind of like what you said about Clark. Going to end the year around 75, maybe even 80%. But
the problem is in these early games, they've gotten out to such early, you know, huge leads. The concentration wanes.
Sure,
you know?
Especially early season.
Yeah.
But can't help but think, for a guy averaging 18.7 a game, how big would that number be with the free throws falling?
Philip Russell against a 2-3 zone.
And a fantastic finish from Clark through contact, headed the line for his 3rd free throw attempt. And it's a slow start for VCU, but look out. They're on a 14-2 run.
Widespread that zone is, and they have to be because of the shooters on the perimeter. And Philip Russell just surgically found Clark along the baseline.
And it's a VCU team that saw a ton of zone defense earlier this week against Merrimack.
And that's why Loeffler was reluctant to play a lot of zone, because he said VCU had 5 days of practice against zone.
Offensive board for Bamboye, but unable to convert are the Rams. 6-point lead for VCU. Loyola looking for a bucket. 1 for their last 7 from the floor.
They've got stone cold.
Drive from Stemke. He's still held scoreless. VCU entering at 3-0. Best start to the season since 2019-2020. Shulga gets his first 3-point shot to fall.
Great depth of penetration by Bamsile. Penetrate and kick. And Loyola has stopped scoring entirely. Not getting to the free throw line at all. And as a result, you get a really nice run from VCU.
Just the second made three-point shot today for VCU. Stemke looking down low. Shot clock now at 10. Screen from Illich. Two defenders there. Stemke fading away. Off front iron.
Boy, look, bad boy, with great contest of that shot.
Clark in transition. He's feeling it. Misses long.
I'm not sure that's a shot Ryan Odom wanted.
Theodosio. The first three-point shot made by someone other than Tyson Commander.
He's played pretty well. You know, he has gotten to the rim a couple of times and made some nice dishes. That's a big three-pointer. His team needed that.
Moves it to a 6-point deficit for Loyola. Shulga looking for three more. Not this time. Foul on the floor. Looks to be against VCU, and that's going to bring us to the under 8 media timeout. Rams storming back and now leading by 6. 7:26 left to go in the first half. VCU at one point trailed by as many as 6. Now they find themselves leading by 6. And TJ Wingert, Chris Naki back with you here inside the Siegel Center. Where are those margins? What led VCU coming back and now playing with that 6-point lead? About a 5-0 lead in points off turnovers and also second chance points. You know it. That's a huge. If you're going to come away with a road upset, that's a stat category you want to win.
Yeah, and you also, I think Loyola got caught with the wrong guys on the floor, you know, offensively, and they went stone cold. And that's a bad combination. You know, you give up second chance opportunities, and you know, you've got to continue to score. I think they've done a good job. You know, the numbers are way down. Turnovers only 4 in this game, and I think if you told Josh Leffler he had 4 turnovers with 7 to play in the first half, he'd take that in a nanosecond.
The drive off the glass and in. Tyson Commander continues to show off some nice touch.
That is a great move, and that crafty lefty, we saw it when it created space for his open threes. That guy knows how to play.
And if you're a Greyhounds fan, you're hoping it's a spark for the offense. Runner from Jennings, no good. Board from Illich, and he tosses it away. That one, not going to help momentum on your side.
No, it doesn't help you at all. But it does, again, the dead ball turnover. Look, they're back on defense now. And they've held the Rams in check. Right now, VCU, 37% from the field, 16% from 3. So Loyola's done a pretty good job. 4-point game right now, and you know, Ryan Odom wanted to get off to a fast start. I don't know if this constitutes a fast start, but I know Josh Leffler was concerned that they'd be blown out of this gym.
Offensive foul. It's going to become turnover number 3 for VCU. Another area where, if you're a Loyola fan, you're only down 4, now you're getting the ball back, you've got no free throw attempts. You've got an untapped well of potential point scoring.
Well, I mean, to be fair, these guys are letting them play.
Sure,
There's
totally
been a lot of contact in this game, which is fine. I mean, I'm all good about that, no problem. But VCU's going to have to get fouled in the act of shooting. It looks like these guys are going to let them run through this half.
Not to mention 2 blocks already for Christian Furman. Near side wing. Drive from Brown. Now back up top. Stemke, defended by Clark, and he's going to be the guilty party.
I think if you're Clark, you want to space that guy on the perimeter a little bit. And they're not really burying a lot of threes out there, particularly the man he was covering. So give him a little space, force him to shoot a jump shot.
Speed picks up his dribble, looking for help. Now Illich versus Furman. Shulga there to swipe it away momentarily. Speed lines up the 3 and rattles it through.
Boy, hasn't shot it well at all this year. That's a big shot for a freshman. Right in front of that VCU bench. The scouting report would tell you, let him shoot, and that's a big shot with him struggling to score.
Just a 1-point game. Illich able to take it away from Shulga. Even numbers the other way for the Greyhounds. Speed 1-on-1 with a good defender, and Jennings off the glass plus the foul.
You got an animated Loyola bench now, too. I mean, they're excited. They're hanging in here. VCU's guilty of being a co-conspirator here. They're not running much in the way of offense at all. They are, basically it's a lot of ISO. And there is ISO to the VCU offense, but more often than not, you see really great flow in what they do. And that ball has stopped moving at all.
At one point, a 16-2 run here in the first half for VCU. It's now an 11-0 run for Loyola.
Well, they're warning on Russell out there. He and Theodosio were yapping. Good, clean fun.
That's the part of the job for our referee crew I don't envy. There's a lot of things in their job I don't envy, but
the administration of the yapping.
Yeah,
like
controlling personalities.
Who started what and when, and what do we do about it?
Russell looking for his first bucket. Won't get it here, but he will head to the free throw line.
Okay, so you got a lot of traffic down there, right? You know you're going down there to create contact. You want to give yourself the biggest margin for error possible. You get it up on the backboard. Instead of trying to just put it straight in, you're going to get contact. You're going to get knocked away from the hoop as it is. Get it up on the glass.
Fifth foul to go against the Greyhounds. VCU, meanwhile, has 6 against them. Next one will trigger the 1-on-1. First point of the night for the transfer. Phil Russell came today averaging 18 points per game. Was 12th in the A-10 with a 55.6% field goal percentage. Slower start this evening.
I like this lineup right here that VCU has. Bell back on the floor, as is Bamsile, Russell, Shulga, Furman. Get some fresh bodies out there right now, and if he makes this free throw, you're going to see full throttle pressure.
Russell makes it. And here is that pressure. Under 5.5 to go in the first half. Nice find from Cody. Did everything but finished it. Garrett Brennan. Shulga. Russell. Bell thought about it. Nice fake. Another one. This one from Shulga. Knocks it through. His second three-point shot to fall.
How about the difference in offense, though? The ball moves from side to side. There's no ISO there at all. You pump fakes, you get the ball moving. Just quick dribble drives like Bell had on that play.
Cody screen for Commander. Floater, no good. Foul on the play, though.
Got to be Bell from behind, I would think.
Bell the guilty party here, but what an interesting role he has this year for VCU. Here's another look at that foul. You see him kind of playing this stretch 4 shot instead, actually. This is the three-pointer from Shulga. Theodosio in the air. Easy work there for Max. But Bell playing a really interesting role. A lot of times last year would be given the top perimeter assignment. Also has plenty of size, and not to mention a guy, he's just a sophomore, but played professionally overseas, so both of experience under his belt and a lot of versatility.
Yeah, I think he's the X factor for this team in terms of, we all know and recognize, where they need to get better, and the inside is where they need to get better. You look at the bodies and the specimen that he is. I think he's a guy who can help you at 3 positions, and he may be, he may be the guy that you turn to as your backup 5 if you decide that the young guys aren't quite ready. He's an experienced guy. He's a good open court player, too. He runs like a deer. And more zone here from Loyola. They got sliced up the first time they did this.
To your point, 6'7", 215. Not many people run the way that Bell does at that size. Here's Furman. High post, out to Shulga. Bamsile. Less than 10 on the shot clock. Floater, nothing but nylon.
He's got great elevation and long arms. That release point on that shot had to be 9 feet plus.
He's a sharpshooter. We've seen him make plays on the defensive side. Oh, and add a 40-plus inch vertical.
Yeah, how about that?
Not bad for the Chesterfield, Virginia native. Second year with this VCU program. Here defending Theodosio. Pull up Jay, no good.
That's a terrible shot. I mean, you got to run some offense in a situation like this. You're right where you want to be in this game.
Bamsile, no good. Gets his own miss. Swiped away. Nice play there from Stemke.
Got to hustle back.
Stemke 0 for 3 from the floor, looking for his first points. Theodosio, three-point shot, no good. Rebound for Terrence Hill Jr. Shulga, defended by Brown. Shulga with an opening, and from that spot, he's automatic.
Yeah, he's just too strong. He gets to his spot. Theodosio was in front of him, and he just shrugged his shoulders and created a 4-foot space for himself.
Lead grows to 6 once again for VCU. Well, it's been a game of runs here in the first half, and it's almost been obvious to tell whose side is on the run by who's more in the flow of their offense. Free throw line J, no good. Rebound for Bell. And it feels like VCU's the side right now in the swing of it.
It's going to be a game. College hoops is a game of runs, almost by definition. And this is a critical part. These last 2.5 minutes here for both teams. The Rams trying to get it out to 8 or 10 points at least.
8 on the shot clock. Hill, first shot of the day. No good. Furman, offensive rebound, goes back up and is fouled on his way up.
Looked like he got away with it over the back there, Furman did, but that kind of, the benefit of that call, that comes with a guarantee check.
It's going to be the second foul against Milos Ilic, and that's going to send us to the under 4 media timeout. 32-26, your score. Rams looking to make it 4 consecutive games without trailing at the break. Rams edging the Greyhounds by 6 here in the Siegel Center, and that's Max Shulga. I'm TJ Wingert. He's Chris Naki. And Chris, 2.5 minutes, or just there under here in the first half. It's crucial for momentum. You're trying to go to the break with everything on your side you possibly can. What is your message to your team?
Well, if I'm Josh Leffler, I'm telling him right now, we've turned the ball over 4 times in the last 3 minutes. Those turnover numbers are now at 8 and rising, and so you cannot do that in this building. Also have to do a better job on the backboard. You're not getting the calls down there, but the fact of the matter is they're not calling anything, so be as aggressive as you could possibly be going after those defensive rebounds. For VCU, run offense. Get the ball swung. Get that Loyola defense moving side to side. It's going to create all sorts of opportunities to get to the basket, get to the paint.
Come out of the timeout with Christian Furman at the line. His first time at the charity stripe. This is on the first.
Get 10 seconds to shoot at the foul line. You need to use a couple of them. That was awfully quick on the trigger. Take your time, breathe a little bit.
Empty trip, offensive rebound for the Rams though. Max Shulga drives baseline. It's going to be a kickball. Stops the clock with 2:19 to go in the first half.
Yeah, and these prolonged possessions are killers for the visiting team. It's hard enough to play defense for 30 seconds. Then you got to play another 20 on top of that. Nobody wants to do that.
Inbound to Bamsile. Hill Jr. got some space. Likes to pass it off. Bamsile from downtown off the front of the rim. Tipped out. It's going to be Loyola basketball.
See, that possession was good until the shot. I mean, that ball went inside, went out, went all the way around. Joe settled for that shot. He's gotten himself into the paint whenever he wanted to get there, and he gave Loyola a huge break taking that shot.
Speed brings it across as we hit the 2-minute mark. Left to go in the first half. Drive to cup, off the glass and through. Now a 4-point game.
You're seeing a guy mature right in front of us here. He's averaging 10 coming into this game, and
that's exactly what he's got right now.
Really acting like he belongs right now.
Only player so far for Loyola in double figures. Drive from Hill, side of the backboard. Greyhounds will take over. VCU has 2 players with 10 points so far, Max Shulga and Joe Bamsile. This is a VCU team coming off a game against Merrimack that was a little uncharacteristic. Only 2 players reached double figures. That was Russell and Bamsile. They accounted for over 60% of the Rams scoring. VCU in the 2 games prior had at least 4 guys in double-figure scoring.
That Merrimack game was such an anomaly. You rarely see any team in D1 anymore play 40 minutes of zone defense.
Sure.
They were in that zone too. They were all over Max wherever he went. You know, every time he caught it, you could hear the coaching staff yelling, "Shooter, shooter, shooter!" So, you know, the shots, most of the open shots actually were going to fall to Bamsile and to Russell.
Milos Ilic, first free throw attempt on his day. Nothing but the bottom of the net. He's got 5 points. We don't have his brother playing tonight. Velko, 2 seniors hailing from Serbia. Milos up and good on the second. Now 6-4-10 from the free throw line this season.
And you get to the free throw line in a situation like this, you stop the clock and slow the game down. And it's absolutely ideal for what Loyola's plans are in this game. This game gets over 70, and I don't think they have any chance of winning. Right now, game's at 30. This is right where they want to be.
Bamsile drives, kicks out Bell. Whistle on the play. That's going to be the 7th against Loyola. So free throws on the way for VCU. At least one. This will be the 10th attempt of the first half for the Rams.
And these breaks allow Loyola to substitute offense, defense. To get Ilic back into the game and speed back into the game.
It almost feels like even if this does end up in 2 points for Loyola, this is, again, the pace of play. This is what you're looking for.
Yeah. You put
Make them run it at the line.
Put the crowd to sleep a little bit with these stoppages, these free throws. Serves a lot of different purposes.
When we talk pregame, you can kind of look at this game by media timeout, and sometimes Loyola with the lead, sometimes trailing, but they've always kept themselves within distance. You know, you got a puncher's chance, and if you're the underdog on the road, that's where you want to be.
Well, they do have the 8 turnovers, but most of them have been dead ball turnovers where they've just gone out of bounds, and that's really helped them right now.
To that point, is at one point a 5-0 points off turnover edge for VCU.
Yep.
Flip that on its head, it's now 6-5 Loyola with the edge.
There you go.
Speed takes the screen. In the painted area. Pick, pop, Ilic denied! Bamsile, are you kidding me? Defense to offense.
Play of the game right there thus far.
Speed on the hardwood. Gonna be a jump ball. VCU possession. Rams up 6 and the Siegel Center starts to erupt.
Wow, this play is unbelievable. Bamsile came from the middle of the paint and made that play.
That's 6'4", swatting away 6'10". Milos Ilic.
Highlights at 11 right there. Big time defensive play. He's got those long arms. I think he floors people out there. You can play 2 for 1 here. I see if the Rams get 2 possessions. That's exactly what they do.
4th block of the game, by the way, for the Rams. Loyola going to take over. Last touch by the Rams.
Yeah, Max trying to play 2 for 1 there. Couldn't get the puppy to go down.
Speed going to sub back in, as well as Tyson Commander. That means Brown and Zemka going to head to the bench. Cody also leaving, as Ilic back onto the hardwood. Full court pressure from VCU. Timeout called by the Greyhounds.
Josh Leffler, not a happy head coach over there. You know, and if you're in a perfect world, if Loyola, you know, comes down and they're involved, they're in this game in the last couple minutes, timeouts like those are invaluable. And I think he had some guys open. That was Speed who was trying to inbound that basketball. It looked like he had some options. Instead, he panicked a little bit, called the timeout.
Take another look at that play from Bamsile. And again, you think about this guy and his shooting prowess and what he can do getting to the cup, and then he's doing stuff like that.
I talked to some NBA guys who were at his Boston College game in Annapolis, and those guys operate in a little different mindset. You know, so I said, what doesn't he do well? I mean, he shoots the eyes out of the ball. He's playing more defense now than he's ever played. We just saw that, obviously. Good offensive rebounder. I think he's a leader and a really good kid. And the response is, yeah, but he's 23 years old. The NBA has such an ageism. You know, it's mind-boggling. They want the 19-year-old,
100%,
phenom, or 18-year-old.
Yeah, honestly, get him to go to the G League, play there for a year, and see what you can develop.
You know what? Joe's one of those. He's a well-read guy. Go make some money. It's a global game. Go make some money overseas.
Hey, that jump shot, it'll play across the globe.
Right? It translates.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, defense travels too. About a 6.5 second difference between shot and game clock here. Offense now into motion. Speed looking for help. 2 defenders. Speed able to get past Shulga. Lofts it up. Furman with the board.
Furman gets called for the push, I think, here. It's going to send Illich to the line.
That's a bit of a backbreaker.
Yeah,
goes from stop, chance to run, get more momentum instead.
Slows the game down again. Now VCU will have 9 seconds to push the ball up the court. You want to get this ball in Russell's hands and see if he can make a play. And he's got shooters all around him. Clark, Bamsile, Shulga.
Really all 5 on the floor are potential three-point shooters here with Clark out there.
I would think if Illich makes the second free throw, if he gets to the second one and makes it, look for some tempo pressure by, he misses, gotta go. Clark can take it.
It's Russell. Bamsile driving, down to 2 seconds. Whistle will stop it at 1.7 to go in the first. And back to the free throw line goes Joe Bamsile.
Yeah, that's Illich on the baseline. That's not a fair fight. Bamsile's so quick. And
that's a big one on Illich. That's his third.
Yeah.
So we'll see how quick we get to see Illich in the second half.
Big drop-off offensively with him, between him and Cody. Cody's a pretty good defensive player, and his best days are ahead of him.
But yeah, you noted it there. Not only offensive stuff, but just senior freshmen in a game like this. You're trying to steal one on the road. VCU doing themselves no favors here. And that's going to do it for the first half. Both teams get chances at the free throw line, and they both come up empty. Bringing us to 36-30 at the break. You're watching the Rams and the Greyhounds on ESPN Plus, as well as Massive. Second half is moments away from getting underway between VCU and Loyola University. Rams lead the Greyhounds by 6. TJ Wingert alongside former American player and coach Chris Naki. And Chris, I feel like one thing that was a trend throughout that first half, obviously college basketball, like we noted, it's a game of runs, a little back and forth. But really, shot selection played a huge part. And then all of a sudden, that 8-0 run starts to become a couple minutes scoring spell. And really something to keep the viewers' eyes on. That one bad shot, it could be a catalyst for a rough couple of minutes.
Yeah, and I, Ryan Odom's teams traditionally are pretty freewheeling. They play wide open. And so they're going to take, some shots that a lot of teams would consider questionable. But I think to a degree, they played to the level of the competition here in this half, that first half. And you want to make sure you run your stuff and like you're going to be playing against, North Carolina. You have to do it at a high level. You can't play to the level of the other guys.
Second half, Greyhounds start with possession. Speed, the lone player in double figures in that first half, swatted away. Block number 3 for Christian Furman.
Pretty nice move by Speed, but he never created the space. He didn't go straight to the rim.
Furman already figures to be one of the top players in the A-10 in blocks per game, and certainly making a good case and backing that up tonight.
That was Clark's block right there. Nice play.
Nice move from Shulga. Leads to Clark slamming it down with authority.
Well, that's a good shot. You know what? The closer you get to the rim, yeah, no question about it. Attack the backboards.
Theodosio. We're going to get Shulga, and that's going to be goaltending.
For sure.
Well, you talk about attacking the rim. It's also paid dividends for VCU. 12 free throw attempts. On the other side, Loyola with just 6.
Yeah, and that move by Theodosio, we saw it in the first half. He was able to get to the rim and make some real nice drop-off passes and get a couple of easy buckets. And that was a sweet little crossover. He pulled on Shulga there to get himself to the rim again.
How about this? Theodosio, the only player for Loyola with more than 1 assist. Off the front of the rim for Russell. His poor shooting day continues. Now 0 for 4.
Short arm that shot. He created the space for himself.
Illich screen left. Pick, pop. Furman closes out. Foul on the play. It's going to go against VCU. Grabbing a hold of Speed.
Yeah, and on that back cut from Speed, that's Russell. That Princeton, those cuts, those back cuts have been problems for VCU. Big man is a pretty good passer, pretty deft passer out there.
Here, working against Furman.
Oh, that's a walk.
Spin right, got away with the extra step. Couldn't corral the offensive rebound. VCU basketball.
Short-armed the shot and then fumbled the rebound. Not Illich's finest moment right there.
Rams up 6. Trend did continue, by the way. All 4 games this season, the Rams have led at half. Furman couldn't haul it in.
He can't catch that pass. I think that's an ill-advised pass right there. And Russell created a space for himself to get to the rim.
6 turnover against VCU. There's David Brown.
Ooh.
Only 5 players in the scoring column thus far for Loyola. Brown, not one of them. Down low, Illich. Whistle on the play, tangled up. VCU's going to take over.
Yeah, that's a good scratch back by Shulga.
Possession to VCU.
And Illich has had a tough couple of possessions here.
He's going to check out. Returning to the floor is Cody. Cobb Cody, freshman from the Commonwealth of Virginia, handling from the Woodbridge area. Bamsile, nice cross. Continues with the right. Russell trying to find Bamsile. Shulga left wide open and makes the Greyhounds pay.
How about the offense, TJ? I mean, that ball goes inside, it goes out, it swings from left side to right side, get the skip pass to the corner. I mean, that's the way it's drawn up. That's what Ryan Odom wants to see there.
Something Coach Odom doesn't want to see. Discussions into that play. Foul play going to go against Russell. We did see a warning issued to Russell and Theodosio for some jawing, we'll say.
And there's Tech here.
And it's going to go against Russell.
Philip Russell is a combative element. You know, I mean, and you love him on your side. It has to be channeled right.
In the words of Ed Nixon, he's got that dog in him, and sometimes gotta reel it in. As Theodosio makes the first one.
And that also, you know, puts one of your best players on the bench, you know, and that's not to say that the bench guys coming in can't handle the job Jennings in for him right now, but I mean, Russell has played to a high level in the early going of this season, and when you don't have him, you miss him. Point of attack offensively and also on the ball defensively. It's a big loss.
Well, and also, you look at this VCU team, they've won each of their previous 3 games by 20 plus. This game playing pretty close and a lot tighter than those previous 3. Those types of things just bring the margins that much closer.
Yeah, and you know, he's an emotional guy, and it's an emotional game, and he got caught up. He hasn't been playing well, and he's feeling that. And he gets caught up because he's been jawing with Theodosio. But ultimately, when you engage like that and you get a technical call, it amounts to, you know, you want to be selfless, you know, not the other way around. It's selfish, and it just you can't have that. This is a mature team. They've played a lot of basketball, all these guys. And that's one of those mistakes that you don't expect from mature teams.
After some conversations on the far side of the court, 5 seconds added back on to the clock. Four fouls against Russell now. On the other side, Illich has got 3, so really it's one player for both teams. They're key players at that. Commander drives, kick out Stemke. Stemke, our Loyola player to watch. 0 for 3 from the floor, no points thus far. Got in his hands here with 5 seconds on the shot clock to work with. Working against Clark, takes a screen. 3-point J off the side of the iron. Cody able to tip it out.
That's a good play by Cody. Long arms, man.
Big play there from the freshman. 8-point contest. Greyhounds looking to eat into that deficit. They'll get the foul here. Guilty party is Jennings. Second to go against the freshman.
And Speed, Jennings just reached in at the very end. Speed had a nice little hezzy there. A little hesitation move, but just a little late reach in by Jennings is what gives him that foul. Again, slowing down the game a little bit.
Stemke had it poked away. Zemka back to Stemke now. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Fading away from Bamsile. Make it 0 for 5 for Stemke. Shulga showcasing that power once more. He's a bully of a guard. Furman got a hand on it. Couldn't corral it, though.
Clark is a good on-the-ball defender. Really moves his feet well.
That's at 6'10", 215, too. Turnover, Greyhounds. Shulga with ease the other way.
Well, there's a live ball turnover. Easy money.
VCU now with 12 points off of turnovers. Double-digit lead.
You have a media timeout coming here. Otherwise, I think Leffler would take one right now. Trying to get to a whistle. That's not a good shot either.
Theodosio, no good. Shulga forward for Bamsile. Not but 7 seconds into the shot clock. Bamsile fouled down low, and that will send us to the under 16 media timeout. Strong start to the second half. 7-3 edge. Rams, they now lead by 10 here on ESPN Plus, as well as Massive. Welcome back to the Siegel Center. 15-19 left in regulation. TJ Winger alongside former player and coach Chris Nocky. Chris, how about some updates from around the rest of the A-10 basketball picture? Richmond, disappointing loss, double overtime today against Bucknell. Good game for LaSalle. They pick up a road win by 3. How about a barn burner down at East Carolina? George Mason, they fall short by 1 point, but 78-77, double overtime. What a kill to be there. And how about this? I got a question for you. St. Bonaventure, they win 72-51. Do you call St. Bonnie wins Woj bombs now?
Yeah, that is an interesting setup there for sure. And we'll see what kind of job he does there as the GM at St. Bonaventure. But LaSalle is a great story to me. I coached with Fran Dunphy, who is in LaSalle, the head coach of LaSalle. Done such a great job wherever he's been. And he lost a lot of talent. He went into the portal late. He assembled his team late in the summer, and he's put together a 4-0 start.
Bamsile, catch, shoot, left short. Speed down on the hardwood, as is Shulga. Bounce back out then to Bamsile. Drive into the cup. Fouled on his way there. Headed to the free throw line once again.
Man, that is great scramble for a loose ball right there. And Shulga came up with it.
Take another look at it here on the replay.
Zemka, boy, that's the worst of all worlds for a player. You get the knee to the chest, and you get a block called on you. That is tough to live with that.
Be free throw attempts 6 and 7 on the night for Bamsile. Finishing up the point on the rest of the A-10. It's currently Dayton taking care of business against Capital. Hofstra leads UMass by 3. And St. Louis out in front of Loyola Marymount.
Well, Joe's leaving some points at that free throw line. Missed the first one.
That's been the trend so far this season. Leads the way in scoring 18.7, but end of the day, less than 55% free throw shooter. Got to think, though, law of averages, that's going to level out.
He's too good a shooter to sit at that number.
Corner 3, Stemke. Welcome to the scoring column. His first trifecta to fall.
A little late on the rotation there for Jennings.
Bamsile, by the way, north of 70% free throw shooter. Nice cut and an easy finish there from Clark.
Jennings with his head up the whole time. Never, a lot of young guys put the ball to the floor immediately. That's a nice catch and dish.
Nice find from Jennings, his first assist. Clark now the third Ram into double figures.
I think if you ask that VCU coaching staff, Jennings has exceeded expectations.
And it's interesting that you say that.
Of the season.
Yeah, and especially when you take into account, you just look at box scores and you're like 1 of 12 shooting from the floor, and that's before tonight, and make it 1 of 14 including tonight. That's not great, but the intensity on defense, the vision, the size, it's all playing.
Floor game. Yep, no question.
And it feels like freshmen, you see a couple shots to fall, there could be a good slippery slope to follow there for VCU. Bamsile, nice hustle. Shulga with eyes to the corner towards Jennings, fouled on his way towards the cup.
That was a pretty nice defensive play. That Loyola bench looking for a jump ball in that situation. I thought Max was going to pull the trigger on that swing. He was open, but he's smart enough to know Illich, the big man, is coming at him.
A little uncharacteristic for Max Shulga.
This
is his first free throw attempt.
That's true. Yep.
This is a guy who gets the line with really some of the best in the A10. Already 16 attempts coming in today, but this is first on the night.
Well, he puts that head down and creates contact all the time. And Fats Phillips into the game, gets a cheer from the crowd.
Redshirt sophomore, hometown native from Richmond, Virginia. We've already seen bounce from a couple of different Rams. Fats Phillips, that's a bouncy kid.
Yeah, he's got a world of talent. He's got to put it all together. And I think, too, that he struggles a little bit with consistency of effort. There he is right there.
There's Fats Phillips. Euro. Can't finish. Shulga, though. How about that from the fifth year? Largest lead of the day for the Rams. That's a 13-point edge.
That's a bully ball right there. Too strong.
Shulga, game high, 16 points. Cody looking for the cutter. Kuzemka back down low. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Mop loses control. Barely able to get the shot off. Rebound for Bell. Feels like a must stop here for Loyola.
Boy, no kid. Air is about to go out of the balloon.
I was just about to say, Stuart Siegel Center is ready to erupt. There it is.
You got to get a timeout here.
Alley-oop, 15-point lead, and there is the timeout. First coach timeout of the second half. That means a media break. 51-36. The Rams are rolling now. You're watching men's college basketball on Masson and ESPN+. It was a timeout from Coach Leffler after a 7-0 VCU run. And really the focus here, Chris, has got to get the ball in the bucket. It's a 2.5-minute scoring drought. If you're going to get this crowd to settle down, you need to see one go through here.
Yeah, and they came in here with such a good game plan. They executed in the first half. And it brings to mind that great Mike Tyson quote, right, where everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the jaw.
Yeah.
Well, they just got punched in the jaw, and I think that what you see out of Loyola here the next, 3-4 minutes to tell you a lot about this team.
Nice job from Commander getting there, but couldn't finish. Illich, second chance opportunity is no good.
2 good looks for them out of the timeout.
A second punch to the jaw.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this second half, it feels like the ball is finally, and I don't want to say finally moving necessarily. We saw bits and pieces of it in the first half, but really, through 8 minutes now in the second half, it hasn't stopped.
Well, trust me, if rubes like you and I saw what was going on in the first half and talked about ball movement and running offense, I guarantee you Ryan Odom at halftime was telling these guys the ball is sticking, it's not moving, and we're playing way too much ISO.
No doubt about it. Ryan Odom's probably forgot more about basketball from just what he's learned from his dad than I've ever learned.
Well, think about what those dinner conversations were like, Dave Odom, one of the great coaches, iconic 100%. Guy as well.
Shulga, step back. Misses it all.
Had to shoot it.
The occasional heat check, okay for a very efficient player. Max Shulga sends us to the other 12 media timeout. Rams lead by 15 on ESPN Plus and Masson. Welcome back to the Siegel Center. It's a 15-point Rams lead, and it's time to unveil our Vaku assist of the game. You saw it just a few minutes ago. The alley-oop. Shulga, not just great touch as a shooter, perfect feed, and Furman takes it home.
Well, his read is Cody right there, and he read Cody coming up, stepping up, and Max knows that Furman is going to be open on that alley-oop, and that's Max's 4th assist. He is filling up the stat sheet again.
Virginia Credit Union assist of the game, benefiting the Children's Hospital of Richmond at VCU. Out of the break, Greyhounds came in the day averaging, again, level of competition still varying, only 3 games. Came in the day averaging 76 points per game. They're still looking to crack the 40 mark, and that 3-point shot won't get them any closer.
And Illich can shoot the 3. I think on that possession, you want to run some offense. That's awful quick pulling that trigger.
Illich now 0 for 3 from beyond the arc. Here's a nice defensive play generated by Theodosio. Garners the extra possession. And really, I think a lot of sports across the board, but basketball specific, you see the importance of the possession itself. Illich now, another miss from beyond the arc, 0 for 4. But if you're going to make this comeback, you're down 15. You've got 10:58 to do it. Possessions, name of the game.
Well, I'll tell you what Coach Leffler thinks about those 2 shots from Illich. Illich is now going to find himself a seat on the pine. And he's hearing a little bit about it from his coach.
And I mean, this is a spot where Ryan Odom found himself, a year ago. Maybe not necessarily down 15, but first-year head coach, you're handling players that have already been at that program, trying to make it fit with the new system.
Well, and you add into it, this is a new world, Division I basketball.
Sure.
Everybody's got half of a new team. It's crazy the way rosters are constructed in this day and age.
Drive from Commander. Don't want to call it a bunny, but miss from close range, Theodosio.
I thought that ball was coming to you.
I was ready. I've actually made a couple of those catches.
Okay.
Proudest moments of my life. Drive and a foul goes against Brandon Jennings. There's nothing better than watching an athlete watch you make an athletic play.
Yeah.
And they say something after the game, your ego through the roof.
It's the little victories, right?
Exactly. My playing days are safely behind me, so the flash of the potential I hold on to. Nearing the midway point of the second half. 3-point shot. Off the glass, off the iron,
now,
no good.
Every shot is from behind the 3-point line now for Loyola, and really no semblance of offense, and nobody trying to get to the rim. Theodosio's trying to. It's a nice move by Jennings. Herky-jerky.
And really for a freshman, has a body type that can play right away. A lot of times, first-year players are coming in, you might need to add 5'10", maybe a little bit more pounds. But really, it feels like Jennings, you see by his minutes per game, he's ready to play.
Well, it'd be interesting to see when Zeb Jackson comes back what goes on with his minutes, but yeah, he's played well.
Just can we talk about a left-handed shooting Brandon Jennings, too? Someone of my age, this is perfect.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Throwing back to the former fun-to-watch Bucks player.
Yep.
This Brandon Jennings, a wee bit bigger, though, at 6'4".
Got a ways to go.
Yeah, not to put NBA pressure on you, young man. Similar set, inbound coming from the same spot it was a moment ago. More whistles.
They run a dozen different plays out of the same set on their out-of-bounds underneath. They set up this high 1-3-1 look, and they got guys flying all over the place. Now that's 17 fouls, so Clark's going to get a 1-on-1.
I got to know, Coach, that day where you're installing all those inbound plays, how early in the season, and is that a...
Well, now you can practice in the summer.
True.
So you can install some of these things in the summer and get back to them. And these are ongoing because when you play in a schedule where you might see Dayton January 4th and you got them February 1st, you're going to throw some curveballs in there. You're not going to go with the same calls or the same plays.
Well, then compounding with another question, I think of it like baseball, bunt coverage day.
Yeah.
That's a doozy. No one's looking forward to that one. Is install day kind of like that?
No,
a little more fun. Okay.
I think players inherently sense it and understand it when there's some creativity involved. Mm-hmm. And some of these sets are really sophisticated. What Ryan Odom does, and I think the players like it. And a lot of it leads to catch and shoot threes or opportunities for layups where you wouldn't think that they would necessarily be there. But yeah, I think the players enjoy this.
That's a good point.
They don't like the conditioning part of practice. But
That might be the bunt coverage.
The rest of it is fine.
Because ultimately, if you do execute, you're giving yourself the opportunity to score, hopefully with an easy look.
Yeah.
Clark defends. Brown kicks out. Looked to be tipped off the fingertips of Hill. Speed there to corral. Shot clock's at 6. Into the painted area. Dumps it off down low. Easy 2 for Illich.
That's the one time they've gotten into the paint in the last 5 or 6 minutes. And what happens? They get a bucket. 2-3 zone here now for Loyola, and this might be sort of a last gasp.
Off the front of the iron, Clark. An easy put back 2. He's up to 12.
That's the problem with playing zone is you don't have those natural box-out matchups. Easy money for Jack Clark.
We're going back to your point a minute ago. Yeah, we do live in a new age of college basketball. It's another rejected shot for the Rams. Shulga ahead. Bamsile will drive and finish at the rim. But you look at what Jack Clark's done. Double digits in 3 of the 4 games now for VCU. A team that's maybe a little thin down low. So to get that 6'10" body type that can play all over.
He also doesn't require the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he gets his points in all sorts of different ways.
Plus, NCAA tournament experience started all 4 games last year for Clemson. And their Elite 8 run. Nice finish. Terrence Hill Jr., his first 2 points. And then Loyola chucks it to their now very, and I cannot say this, very frustrated head coach, Josh Leffler.
He was open. He was the only Loyola guy who was. And these guys are reeling right now. Fatigue. You know, they played their tails off for 20 minutes, 22, 23 minutes.
Another look, defense to offense. That's been a common theme, not just today, but that might be VCU's DNA in and of itself. Great block from Bamboye, his second on the day.
Yeah,
and he is nice finish the other way.
He's got some great days ahead of him, I would think.
Clark going up top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. He's got 16.
And that is probably the 4th different out-of-bounds set we've seen in the last 2 minutes. Different out-of-bounds plays run out of the same set.
Safe to say it's not as boring as bunt coverage today.
No. And all of a sudden,
yeah,
23, up 23.
For anybody who joined us here in the second half, this was a 6-point game at halftime. And the second half has gone 25-8 VCU's favor.
And Loyola can't get anything going offensively.
Yeah, the second half, to quote Scott Van Pelt, is that bad? It's not good. Looking to turn things around here. 8 minutes and counting. Backdoor cut, they've tried to find it, but pass goes out of bounds. Intended for speed. We're at the under 8 media timeout. VCU starting to pull away. They're up 61-38 on Masson and ESPN+. It's been a 17-2 run over the last 6 minutes and 42 seconds, and all that amounts to a 23-point VCU lead. Former head coach and player Chris Naki. I'm TJ Wingert here with you inside the Siegel Center. And Chris, looking back a couple games ago, big win against Boston College, biggest win against a power, we could call it Power 6 if you want to throw the Big East in there. I know your roots with Maryland, but Power 5, biggest Power 5 win since 2013. In that game, though, one alarming stat, 17 offensive rebounds surrendered, including today. They've given up 12 between Merrimack and now Loyola, so things work in the right directions. You see some stats there for Jack Clark. Boy, oh boy, he's been fantastic.
And part of that is the level of competition they're playing, of course. But that's a concern. You know, you got Seton Hall on the horizon, and that traditionally is a team of grown men. You know, guys, mature, physical players. That's their style. It's also a team that's going to want to play a 55-point game.
Hill lines up the 3, no good. Offensive rebound for Shulga. Corner, 3, on its way. Bottom of the net. Jack Clark stealing the show. He's got a game-high 19.
That is a pretty jump shot, too. He's got a really clean look and a great release. Shulga playing his tail off right now.
Assist number 6 for Shulga. 1 rebound away from a double-double, by the way. 3-point shot is good. Kuzemka. Note about the Rams and double-doubles. Haven't had one yet this season. See if Shulga can get one more board.
Well, he's not that far away from a triple-double, actually. You know,
you could get interesting here. Russell Westbrook a couple years ago. 3, Bamsile.
From the identical spot where Clark had hit his.
Near replays.
You see a guy shoot like that, how is he shooting as poorly as he is from the free throw line? That is automatic, that release of his, the confidence.
Spin from Stemke. Gets the whistle. The bucket to go with it. 5 points now. Just his second made field goal. You go back on the other side, right after Jack Clark becomes the highest scorer in the game. Bamsile steals the title right from him. He's the game's first 20-point scorer.
Not so fast, Jack.
There are some games it feels like that might be the case this year for VCU. Which guard, or honestly, throw Clark in the middle. Which Ram can find their way to 20 the fastest?
I mean, they've got options. Options galore, and we haven't even seen Zeb Jackson, so...
And I mean, Ryan Odom pulling the strings. Talking about a guy at Utah State, had an offense top 25 in the country in effective field goal percentage. VCU's team last year, exact same thing. He's going to get him good looks.
And one of the similarities between what he had at Utah State and what he has here.
Shulga, three. Looking for the trifecta of corner threes.
In Utah State, he had an incredibly mature team, an older group of guys. Keep in mind, a lot of those guys have been on missions, right?
Sure.
And he had a group that was old and embraced him when he came in, loved his philosophy, particularly on the offensive end. Same thing here. I mean, this is an older group. They like to score. They like to shoot threes. Who doesn't, right? And I think there's some real similarities in terms of what he's constructed.
Kazemka to the line for the first time today. Currently sitting at 3 points on the day is the senior from Clifton, Virginia. And that's what makes this Odom to VCU pairing so interesting. Because, like I said earlier, you think VCU, you think Havoc, you think defense, and then now this infusion of a new offensive system, and they've walked that line last year and so far this season.
Well, who's to say you can't have Havoc on the offensive end?
Sure.
You know? And they put a lot of pressure on you with the number of weapons they have, with the movement that they have offensively. They put a lot of, they force a defense to expand, contract, and it's tough to identify and communicate with all that's going on offensively.
No doubt. We're going to get set for some VCU free throws here from Bamsile. But I feel like, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I really do feel like defense, there's some intangibles there, it's skill sets that match that. But in a lot of ways, it's effort, it's energy. Are you bringing on that side? And a good offense ensures the offense and that energy stays high.
Yeah, it really does. I totally agree with you. And I think these guys, I don't know that they played as well as they could defensively in the first half, but the effort was outstanding, right? I mean, they play hard on both ends. They don't cheat you if you're a coach.
And if you're Coach Odom and you're longing for this quick start today, you don't really get it. 6-point game at halftime, but now plus 28, plus 29 now in the, 19 here in the second half.
Well, I think so. What you see here is that they've raised the bar. They put the bar to where they need to play. The ball moved, and so Ryan Odom after the game says, "Hey, great win, fellas. Good job." He'll identify a couple of guys in particular. He wants to identify Clark, whomever, and then he's going to say, "You just established, a certain level of play. Should I possibly accept anything less than that?" It's not my job. My job is to get you guys to play to that level and higher every time out. So if you hear me screaming at you when you're not playing well, you know why it is.
And this is an A-10 conference that 4 teams making the J-Bills top 68, including St. Louis, St. Joseph's, Dayton right now, along with VCU, 2 teams receiving votes to the top 25. This is the baseline of play you need going into those types of matchups.
Yeah, and some of those are quantitative things, in terms of what you see statistically. But I think Odom is far more interested in the quality of play. Are you doing what we need to do to be good? And that's kind of the ultimate job for Ryan Odom or any guy who's pulling the strings.
Illich, now the second Greyhound into double figures. Matches Brandon Speed with 10 on the dot. Been a frustrating day from the floor, 3 of 13, but from the free throw line, it's been kinder to Illich, 4 of 5. It's a Greyhounds team that, up next, they get Boston College. For VCU a couple weeks ago, lost by 25. It's going to be interesting to compare, especially in hindsight, how VCU played against them versus Loyola. Still Jr. looking for the corner 3, no good. And there's your first double-double of the season for the VCU Rams. Jack Clark,
and
the 3-ball to finish the play.
Another assist.
Number 7 on the night now for Max Shulga. Things are getting interesting here. But as noted, first double-double, 18, 10, 7 assists, couple of steals with it.
Rhetorical question. Do you think Max knows he's a couple of assists away from a triple-double? 1,000%. I'll answer that question for you. He's got to know he's close.
Shot clock down to 5. Theodosio looking for help. Corner. Unable to get it through to Gibbs. First time seeing Samuel Gibbs, junior from Rye, New York, out on the hardwood.
Just don't know how much longer Shulga is going to play in this game. That's the question, right?
Right, and that's where it's tough. It would be great to get him that first triple-double, right? Yeah. But at the same time, you are thinking ahead to, I would like to have this guy on the floor for Dayton and St. Louis and St. Bonaventure, et cetera, et cetera.
Seton Hall. Yeah, you got
Seton Hall.
Big weekend ahead, yeah.
Yeah, Seton Hall and then potentially Nevada or Vandy.
Yeah.
Don't look past that. And another game there to be determined, time and opponent.
Yeah, I mean, it's a calculated risk if you keep him on the floor for sure.
How about 5 steals? I underestimated. 2, I'm like waiting to find the stat. I'm like, 2, that sounds about right for Max. 5 steals, only 2 turnovers, 7 assists, 10 boards, 5 offensive, which should be noted. The possession battle here, Shulga's really skewing that in the favor of VCU. 7 of 14 shooting, 3 of 8 from beyond the arc, 18 points.
And for a long time, at one point in this game, it was 20-16 on the backboards. Mm-hmm. Now it's 38-29. So as the second half has gone on, I mean, fatigue has set in for Loyola, and they've gotten bludgeoned around the basket.
Take a look at the upcoming schedule for VCU, and you see some of the past results there as well, with the wins against Boston College and Merrimack, and if all holds, VCU going to be out to a 4-0 start. Looking to match that 2019-2020 season where they got out to a 6-0 start. Now, you mentioned Charleston. It's going to be a tough road to be able to get to that 6-0 mark.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, you have to find those challenges. You never know the way the computer works. When you get to the league, you know, you're playing against some teams that actually bring your strength of schedule down and your rating in the computer down. So you have to go out and seek those games, play those games. And I know that when they scheduled Boston College, for instance, in Annapolis, I think they thought BC would be better than they actually are. But, again, you seek out Power 5 opportunities. You'll never get them to come in here. No chance.
I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
Go on the road to play in this environment?
Yeah, I mean, so the best you can do sometimes are the neutral court opportunities like Charleston and Annapolis.
And a great opportunity for student athletes, too, to get to see different parts of the country and travel. And also, we were talking, like, last year, you can see Boise State. When's the next time I'm going to get to see that game? That's cool matchups.
You're going to have a host of VCU fans who want to spend a weekend in Charleston. I get that. It's a great town.
Foul on the play. Bamsile the guilty party, which highly recommend Charleston. Beautiful place. This time of year, it gets a little cooler, too. If you're a Rams fan, looking for a fun weekend, not to put out there too much.
Look at you playing travel agent. I like it.
I don't get a cut out of this or anything, but
well, I mean, there's
sounds like a fun weekend.
Good teams. It's a great arena.
Yeah, totally.
You know, it's a big, gorgeous city and campus, urban campus.
First attempt, no good. This is Troy Cicero Jr., sophomore from Illinois. First time seeing him out on the floor tonight. With the make, it's now a 25-point difference. And then it's always interesting right after that. VCU always just has a ton of these home games throughout the months of December and then getting into conference play. Matchups against Elizabeth City State.
And all those are going to make it really hard. That first conference matchup is on the road in Olean.
Right.
And that's a tough place to play, man. It's brutally cold up there. It's remote.
3 from Cicero Jr., no good. Rebound, Bell. And the London native will just take it himself.
94 feet. What great speed.
Like we said earlier, there are not many guys at 6'7", 215 moving like that. Oh, and he might get the chance to do it again. Now they're going to force the kick out. Corner. Clark can't be contained. Clark, a third three-point shot to fall. How about 25 points on the night?
Wow. Wow, I mean, he can close his eyes and bury a three out there. He has got it going.
That's catch, shoot, and moving, too. That's impressive, and that's going to be the under 4-minute media timeout. We'll take a pause. VCU leads by 30 on ESPN Plus and Masson. .30 lead in Richmond, Virginia. TJ Winger alongside Chris Naki with you here on Masson and ESPN Plus. The Rams are rolling. 6-point difference at halftime. Well, the second set of 20 has played out a very different tune.
It sure has. And two starters are out there, Shulga and Clark. And I'm wondering if they don't get subs at the first whistle so that they get a round of applause for this crowd. They have both put together remarkable games.
Just had to do some stat checking. 25 points, very impressive for Clark, but not a career high, actually. He had 30 against Duquesne back when he was playing for LaSalle. One more rebound for Shulga, though. That will be a career high. Won't get the chance at it here. Gibbs checks back on for Coach Leffler.
This is curious. Now Loyola is going to press full court, and I'm not sure where that's been. I mean, it's a curious time to employ, when you're down 28 points. But he's a good coach.
And Terrence Hill Jr. to the cup. He's got 4 points now. VCU now 4 for the last 4, contrasted by no field goals in the last 3 minutes of play for Loyola. Skip pass near side. Cody. Hand off to Cicero Jr. Long 2.
Yeah.
Tickles the bottom of the net.
I was thinking, if I'm one of these subs for Loyola, I'm getting my shots up in a 28-point game. Cicero pulled the trigger. That's not a great shot, 17-footer, but a contested 17-footer at that, but nice end result for him.
It's a team thus far this year that does not have a whole lot of bench scoring to go around, so yeah, get your shots, kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking for Fats Billups. Going to be turned over now in the hands of the Greyhounds. Here we go, Chris. Got a little trivia for you. I'm putting you on the spot here.
Go.
VCU, since 2001, most wins in the Commonwealth. Cicero Jr. gets 3 more to his day. How many wins did the VCU Rams have since 2001?
I'm going to say it's a lot of wins. You think
that's a good start.
25 wins a year times 24 seasons.
That puts you in the ballpark.
Yeah, got to be close to like 600, maybe.
Very, very close. You did go over. We're going to go to the next highest score. Next lowest score. A win today makes 546.
Okay.
So the price is right. Anybody who got just underneath that. Whoever guessed won, congrats.
You didn't explain the rules.
No, I didn't. But that's for you not knowing what I was going to throw at you there. That's within 10%. Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's crazy the level of success, and I think too. The programs like this become victims of their own success to a degree because the level of expectation, and that's why it's an attractive job, because there is a level of expectation and a standard. But it can be, I read the message boards.
Sure.
It could be a little overwhelming, right, in terms of, what people, it's a hard job. I'm not just talking about VCU. Being a college basketball coach, and I saw the same, when Odom was at Utah State, the level of expectation out there. It's a program that's used to success.
Cicero. Let's touch every part of the rim. Ultimately miss, and Cody there to clean it up. But you look at the run of coaches, let's just start with, let's begin in the Jeremy Ballard era. Ultimately then goes to Florida International. Mike Jones, now the head coach at UNC Greensboro, followed then by Dwight Perry to Wofford. Mike Morrell, he's the head coach at UNC Asheville, doing a great job there. Shaka Smart, you got to see for the Maryland Terps at Marquette. Will Wade over at McNeese. He came to VCU last year, and of course, most recently, Mike Rhodes at Penn State. All that to say, this job definitely comes with a lot of weight, and it has a good track record thereafter.
Yeah, which is why it's so attractive. And with that too, there are a lot of good basketball players too. You're talking about some good coaches. There are a lot of high quality, high level players that have come through here in those 20 plus years.
No doubt about it. And it's a really cool opportunity because, Siegel Center almost just kind of is the perfect point to prove this. But you become a huge fixture in the city, the community. You got billboards with your face on it.
Yeah.
It's more than just, I'm a good player for this program, or I lead this program. You really do become a fixture of the RVN.
I think, too, one of the things you have to appreciate from a coaching perspective is that if you drew a line, well, it's not a straight line, but if you started in Baltimore, came down to Richmond, and then went to the Tidewater area, it's a really rich, fertile recruiting area, and VCU is a name brand in that area. So, I think there's some inborn and inherent advantages in that.
Look no further than Brandon Jennings, Richmond, Virginia. Fats Billups, Richmond, Virginia. You got a Hampton, Virginia, and Obi Okafor. And then, of course, Joe Bamsile, about 20 minutes away in Chesterfield. Gibbs looking for help. Has it with Matt Gray. Another native to the Commonwealth, hailing from Ashburn, Virginia. A little more than a minute to play. Shot fake. Three's up. And off the side of the iron from Greg Gittinger.
Well, good for him for getting the shot up. Oh, and he gets buried.
Hill Jr. hits the deck hard. He is okay. Jennings defends the other way. Cicero no good. Second chance opportunity. In and out of a few different players' hands. Hey, good for Terrence Hill Jr. on the other side. Take a hard hit against the floor and get an easy two at the end of it.
Well, he deserved the garbage bucket then. Hitting the floor that hard.
He's got 6 points now.
And he's been quite good here in the early season, too. He's represented himself just fine.
And really, he feels like when Zeb Jackson comes back, maybe we see a little bit less of Terrence Hill Jr. I'm speculating here, but ultimately it's paid out dividends because a young player gets out there and gets some meaningful minutes.
Well, I think, look at it from Loyola's perspective. This guy, Cody, who looks like he's got some good days ahead of him, the big fella, these are invaluable, these minutes that he gets a chance to play in here. Some of it due to foul issues for Illich,
right.
but to get him time out here, he's probably played 20 minutes in this game. They're going to be better for that. It might not be this week, but they're going to be better for it down the road when they play apples to apples in the Patriot League.
Throw in Troy Cicero, and that's 4 minutes, 6 points. Hey, you're doing it with a lot of volume, taking a handful of shots already, but you're getting your points. That's a sophomore. And game reps are just completely different than what you can get in practice. Practice is meaningful. You can get a lot of work done, but game reps, that's where you make money.
The last thing you ever want to be called is a 3 o'clock superstar.
A good practice player.
A good practice player. You want to be a 7 o'clock superstar.
Yeah. Or going back to baseball, the guy you want to have hitting BP last, hopefully he's a guy who can actually do it in the game, too.
Yeah, exactly. Taking the air out of the ball here, and this one is done.
Shot clock's turned off. The crowd at Stuart C. Siegel Center to their feet. VCU Rams improved to 4-0. We're going to go stride for stride with that 2019-2020 team who opened up the year at 6-0. Meanwhile, Loyola Greyhounds, they fall to 2-2. They're in the middle of this road sweep where they got to win against NJIT, fall short against VCU today. Next up, they get Boston College and a chance to bounce back.
I feel like both these teams got, a little bit out of what they want. Each got what they wanted. Ryan Odom really got his offense going in the second half. They were humming. I thought Loyola in the first half showed that they can compete. They've got some pieces. They've got a plan. They've got a good head coach. And maybe at the end of the day, both teams won here a little bit.
We're going to take a pause and come back and sum up more of this game from the VCU side. 83-57, your final score. The Rams are now 4-0. You're watching Masson and ESPN+. Today was a lot of fun. Chris Nocky, my broadcast partner, I want to say thank you for joining me today. I want to say thank you for tuning in and checking out the VCU Rams and their now 4-0 start to the 2024-25 campaign as they take down Loyola University by a difference of 26. My name is TJ Winger. I want to say thank you to the rest of our fantastic broadcast crew here on ESPN+ in Masson. Until next time, we are signing off.
Every day at VCU Health, we bring our unwavering commitment and an uncommon approach to healing. We stop at nothing to find answers. We leave the status quo behind to deliver compassionate care to all. Whoever you are, whatever brings you to us, we are unconditionally committed to helping you live your best life. That is our unending promise. VCU Health.
Financial success doesn't mean you have to have a private chauffeur, own a collection of exotic vehicles, or live in the lap of luxury. In fact, financial success isn't about what you drive. It's about what you value. And when it comes to helping you achieve your definition of financial success, we got you.
Welcome to Nissan. Are you interested in
test drive?
Absolutely.
There's the all-new Kicks, the new Frontier, and the Nissan Rogue. Hurry in to the Nissan year-end sales event. Get 2.9% financing for 60 months on Rogue.
When people ask me what the Patriotic Kenny platform's all about, I say it's about giving back, specifically veterans.
When my scooter broke,